Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Easy Painting. So this small tutorial will be about honoring a memory of Brian Ryder. I will tell you all about him in an instant, but this is one of his paintings. I maybe changed a couple of bits on that painting, as we all individuals, and some parts were more pleasing to my eyes than the original. But anyway, it still remains one of Brian Ryder's painting. So who was Brian Ryder? He was born on the 1st of December 44 in Freeland, Oxfordshire. He spent his greater majority of his working life in architects' offices in London and home counties before moving to East Anglia in 87. In 1994, Brian, who had already taught painting and exhibited his work both in the UK and abroad, made the decision to paint full-time. Brian carried on with his tuition until 2011. And following his election to the Royal Institute of Oil Painters, he now concentrates on his own painting. He has written 4 art books, released 6 art tuition DVDs, and is included in the most recent version of Who's Who in Art. And I must say, those DVDs that I all possess and the books are really chest of gold. Really loads of good information for those who want to paint in an atmospheric manner, which is this painting. Anyway, I met Ryan at that time in 2011, and I must say it is was a great guy. In 2012, Brian set up the Institute of East Anglian Artists and has formerly been the president. He says, although I enjoy painting the more traditional landscapes from life, I am not really interested in pure representation. I work mostly in my studio, continually searching for that one painting which depicts my own recollection of the feel of the subject I saw at the time. The painting that involves is a response to this feeling. The more I paint, the more I discover about what painting is all about. So Brian sadly left us beginning this year, and so this is just a little reminder of who he was. I hope I do him justice by showing off one of his paintings. I learned a lot from Brian Ryder, and I thoroughly enjoy his way of painting and thinking. And I too think that painting is more than just representing a subject before our eyes, but we have to put feelings in that painting, and which made him unique in the way that he was not only copying what he was doing, but really you could, through the atmosphere, feel the time of the day. You could feel if it was a warm, a cold day, you could feel the breeze on your cheek, you could feel the snow. Really and truly, this is really an exceptional artist. So we'll miss him, and well, I'm gonna comment now about that painting, and yeah, I hope that this will help you maybe with some of your own painting, and I hope that you will check out some of Brian's work, even maybe acquire one of his videos, tutorial, which are really good, really instructive. So just as Brian, I used to get that first path very thin. The canvas has been prepared in a certain manner to get the paint to really adhere to the canvas. We add some chalk into being an oil preparation or an acrylic, and so we prepare the whole canvas with that mixture, and then you can paint thinly, and it will really stay and stain the canvas. So the first stage of this painting, like we see there, is painted in a very, very, very thin coat of painting. On top of that, you can see I scrape everything off there, all the excess paint. If I were to pass my hand over this now, I should have no paint on my hand, or very, very little. And the key to that sort of painting is to keep the paint very thin to start with. Too many painters really load the paint on, and if you're a professional, if you know what you are doing, there is nothing wrong with shoveling paint on the canvas, but you need to know how to work that paint then on the canvas, because if you don't, you will end up with mud. And in this style of painting, atmospheric painting, you like to see each layer that you do, you will want some to pass through on the second and the third layer, so you need to be very thin to be able to pile up and to get the second coat and then the third coat. Otherwise you could wait, of course, a day or two before coming back to the painting. You also can do it in one sitting. And being in the studio or outside, this is the exact same way that I would go about with getting my painting done. So the colors I'm using here, we could talk about it quickly, are transparent and opaque colors. They are set up in a way that you always can find your mixes in an easy way, in a transparent way to start with. So on the left I've got some burnt sienna. Then I have an ultramarine blue, a cobalt blue, a cerulean blue. And then we have the other transparent color, which will be an alizarin crimson. Then we have a red, an English red. In the reds, we also have a permanent red. That's not necessary to have on the palette. I added to it, but it's not really necessary. Then I've got raw umber, yellow, Indian yellow, yellow ochre, which are the Indian and the raw umber transparent colors as well. And then I have cadmium lemon. Then we have some Naples yellow, and finally the white, which is titanium white. And the way I go about is each first color is transparent. So each first tint, the blue, the red, the yellow, each first color of each of those is transparent. So if I take each first color, I make transparent mixtures. If I want to brighten those mixtures, I'm going to the left in the second or third color, which are getting a little more opaque and therefore are sitting very proud on the painting, and that is what's going to give you that contrast in color and really set the painting apart. So this is the second layer now that we have started. So that is half an hour after we have done the first layer. I'll let it set a little bit, and I'm going over the whole painting again, starting with the sky, as you can see, and I'm scrubbing in those colors, and I'm giving it that atmospheric look. This is a painting to me who's in the evening, so the sun starts to set, and we got that glow, that late glow that we have if you recall, often in the evening we have the what is called the golden hour, and that is a little bit what we find here. It's in the winter, so it's cool, it's not too golden, but it's a cool light, and you can see also that the rest of the features are tight within the value, which also shows us that it has been done in the evening. There is not much contrast between the shadow and the light. And in the whole painting we will have some light, of course, but it is a very low light, and you will see that in a moment. So now I'm putting in the trees, and this tree that I'm working on at the moment is the main feature of the canvas, or at least a solid feature that will catch your eye. So I spend a little bit longer on this tree, but the rest is fairly quick and straightforward to paint. Also notice the trees in the back and the left, the purple trees, who act as a barrier to stop the eye from going out the canvas, and it bounces your eye back to the right. You will notice that a bit later with a little bit more details. It bounces your eye back to the right to maintain your eyes, your sight in the middle of the composition. And we do the same on the other side. So it doesn't have to be a tree, it can be a cloud, it can be bushes, it can be anything that would just stop your eye. So that's a very good tool to learn when you paint. So you always come back towards the middle of the composition. So the main tint, the main color, as you can see, is blue and purple, and it is always nice to work with cold and warm colors. It really is a candy for the eye. In any of your paintings, being any time of the day, as soon as you can work cold and warm, one of the other, you will have a result in a painting that is always pleasing to look at. So here's my warm touch. you can see against that cold, and then I will do that in each layer coming forward. There will be an interaction between that cold and warm every time, even far. You can see there in those distant hills, you've got the warmth of the sky, then the purple of those hills, then a little bit warm again, and then the blue and the white, and all this is a play, warm on cold, to keep your eye interested. So I still haven't got many followers on this channel, and it is mainly my fault because I haven't been very constant in posting on this channel. But I would appreciate if you put a like, because I can see there are some followers. I have a reasonable for now amount of views, but I'm still missing that blue thumb, and I'm still missing people sharing my videos, and I really would like to carry on to show you and to teach some of those perks of painters like impressionists like me. So I would really like to be able to carry on, but I need your help. I need you to share. I need you to give me a thumbs up for me to do so. So if you like it, please. Of course, if you don't like it, I understand that you're not giving me a thumbs up. But if you do like, please hit that like button. Share the videos. So anyway, here you can see again the cold going on, and in between you will have some layers of white. There's a warm white, and it's that play on cold and warm colors, because we haven't got many features there in the front, so I'll have to get that story by playing on colors, or I would say on temperature. There we have a nice light. Also, to have a nice light you need a nice shadow, or at least you need a shadow in order to see the light. Every blue tint will represent the shadow of a tree that is off canvas, that you don't see, and carry itself sometimes across to the other side. So you can do these tricks when you paint. If you have some bare terrain, foreground, you can fill it out with some shadows of imaginary trees. It's a trick that works very well. Now I put my shadows down. You can see that the light pops really. So this is to emphasize that without a shadow you won't have a light. Then I go back to the drawing. I redraw a little bit that road and other points, so that painting makes sense, but also to catch the eye. Do you see how those dark marks catch your eye and gets you further to the gate? This is a trick which is very important, And this is a special trick from Brian. Brian was leading the eye with some very light lights, pure white actually, and darks, and leading you around this composition with that trick, and it works very well. So there we are, the shadow, continuity from the shadow to the left, goes across the road. And slowly but surely that painting comes together. Also, it is important to break the colors. I tend to break them a little bit more than Brian used to do. But when you have a patch of one color, I think it is important and very nice to break them down with other values. So you can use the same, not other values, sorry, big mistake, other colors, same value but other colors. So different tint in mauve, different tint in blue, etc., etc. So keep the same value, that is very important, but change the color. So that way it will stay in that area, but it will give it more interest in your painting. Just like here, adding a little bit of different color on the tree. I'm changing the value here a little bit. I darken it a touch, not too much, but I darken it a touch. This also is important to play on those value changes or color changes to keep your eye interested. Every time you have a dark against the light, it draws your eye to it. Once I'm going to do the tree to the right, it will take away that weight that I'm building here at the moment. But as soon as I done this tree, you will see that the weight is shifting to the right, and so that's a very important thing to do to get your viewers back into the painting. Whatever you put on one element, being a tree, rocks, mountains, whichever, you always have to extend it to the left or the right, depending, to harmonize the whole painting. Because if you don't, you could lose the viewer. So sometimes you can be brave with color and being very saturated, but if you put a color down, you need to see if it works with the whole painting, and to be able to see if it works, you have to put this same color somewhere else in the painting to see if it can support that brilliance of the color. And if it doesn't, well, then you take it off. But you can try, surely try to be adventurous and put color down and see by yourself if the painting is carrying it. You can always wipe it down. So there I'm adding a little color to that tree. There is a yellow green. It's subdued because, as we said, it's in the evening. There is no direct light from the left or the right, so the there would be just a silhouette of a tree, no real strong light or dark on one side or the other, but surely a play on the trunk itself with some reflected light that you can put on there, and will really depict that tree. You can see now how the balance of those two trees are playing off each other, and keeping the eye mainly on the bigger tree. And then we try to do the same to the other side, having a bit darker colors to the left, so to center again the eye to the center of the whole painting, but adding also some interest and different colors to the rest of the trees. As you can see, I'm constantly softening my brush strokes, and that all along the painting. So if there is texture on this painting, it will be mainly on the foreground. So one of Brian's favorite painter was Turner, of course, and you can see it and find it in the paintings, but also Edward Seago, which is one of my favorite painters, and you find it in his style as well as in my style, because that's really the sort of painting who makes me happy, makes me want to paint, and who looks like a painting and not a photo. Not that there is something wrong painting like in a realistic photo, but I don't really see the point. If you want a photo, take your camera and take a photo. If you want a painting, and play with color and do a painting, and add to it your heart and your mind, and you will have something who looks gorgeous. And you can make it colorful. It doesn't have to be dull. As you can see, there is many colors in that painting. And you also here can see that we need those shadows that we put on all along in that painting to see the light, because without shadow you cannot show the light. Now see that subtle light that I put on a bit everywhere, but more inside towards the middle, to have an interesting point of view. Those lights against the dark really catch your eye, and your eye wants to go there. So that's one way that you can keep the eyes in the center or on focus on whatever you want it to be. Dark and light. A play with both dark and light will get your eye to bounce from one to the other and always stay where the interest is in the painting. Of course, nothing stops you from putting more details on the trees, on the features, how to keep it as impressionistic as you want. That is a personal choice afterwards. Here I'm breaking down all the colors everywhere. See, as soon as I have one strip of color, I will break it down with other colors, but keeping the same value. And now, again, playing with the light and the darks. And see all those broken colors now, how vibrant that makes the painting. Going back to every strip of color and dividing it again with other color shifts, keeping the same value, of course. But this is how you make your painting interesting. So this painting is soon coming to an end. I hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that you are going to leave me a like and share the video. Also tell me in the comments what you want to see. If you want to see more of these paintings, if you want to see a whole full-length tutorial of that sort of painting, just let me know. So in the meantime, I am wishing you happy painting, and I really hope that this channel is going to grow and that I will see you in the next one next week. We are keeping this weekly now, so I'll see you next week. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe once there is a few more viewers, do maybe a live, so you can ask me questions as I paint. So that would be great, but for that I need a few more viewers. There we put the final touches on. Again, as you can see, I soften everything, adding a few bits of grass showing here and there. I've added that because I thought this will be a good addition to the painting. A couple, I'm going to put a couple of or three birds as well in there. To give it a little bit of life, so that's always good in a landscape. Put a few cows, even if it's just some far away cows, a few birds, etc. It always will give you a little bit of life in your painting. Or some people who are walking in a distance, so just a few marks. Okay. Well, so that will be it for this demonstration. I hope you liked it. I wish you a happy painting. I hope you give it a go. This is really a nice winter landscape. So all the best, and I see you soon in the next video.